I am laughing so hard because Teresa, 100% retrograde stuff was happening. And so I could see her comment came up right when we were coming. But yeah, when I came on earlier backstage, getting ready, getting all here, my camera decided it wasn't going to be working. So there was no
No.
there was no me here. And so I had to reboot everything. And yeah, anyways, yes, there was Teresa.
Well,
Here we are.
yes, it's all working now. So
We are here. How are you guys?
Good. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I missed you guys.
I know. So what a world. It's so many changes happening in the world, and big news today. Bye-bye, Tucker.
Oh, by the way, I have to just give kudos to Andrea. If you guys have not seen Andrea's video on the debauchery ring, oh my gosh.
The debauchery ring.
That is reading. Well, first of all, it's reading at its best. I mean, Andrea, your readings, and that was so good.
Thank you.
And yeah, just but incredible information. I was just jaw on the floor for that one. So
when was that one? I feel like I watched most of it.
It was a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I missed it. Okay.
But yeah,
Thank
fantastic.
You,
I will have to go back to that one.
My goodness.
I don't miss. I usually don't miss any of you guys's. So at one point or another, I'm getting in there and watching it. Give the thumbs up and support my sisters.
Yeah.
So that was good news. Or it was news today. He has left the building. So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
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 We all got that he was going to be gone. So there you go. Hi everyone and welcome. And this is the night of empowered women that empower women, but all are welcome. And I just love moving through all the things that we learn and get energized with and being empowered as we move on. And so as we move forward and on. So tonight I am so excited about the topic, and we will be connecting in and talking to and asking questions. So everybody in the family here, get your questions ready. We are going to be talking to the divine feminine. And so I feel like we touched on it last time, Andrea, on your channel with doing the doula, and we touched a little bit on the divine feminine and how it connects in that way. So I thought we'd take a little deeper.
Nice.
You haven't done the divine feminine, correct?
Yes, I did. That's okay. You know what? How can you do one show on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, so I thought maybe, and I went back and I searched and I couldn't find it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm good. Because literally it was tapping on my shoulder to do it. And I'm like, I feel like we've done this.
You got to listen then. You got to listen to those taps, you know?
Yeah.
Andrea, you did it, didn't you? On your channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, how can you, that's not even, you don't fit that topic into one episode.
And it was really good too on yours. So, okay. So we're just going to take it further tonight and
yes,
there must be a reason. So yes. I'm going to go with that. And I apologize. I'm going to blame it on retrograde. Blame everything on retrograde.
Okay.
Shoot. All right. But anyway, so here we go. We're going to
Debbie, there's a reason. Don't doubt it.
All right. I'm going to share the screen. And we're going to dive in.
That's what this is all about, what we're doing, right?
Exactly. That is true. And share. All right. So here we are. Divine feminine.
Ready.
And so as we strive to connect with the universe and unlock its secrets and our own potential, one of the most potent concepts to the work with is that of the divine feminine. The divine feminine is a manifestation of feminine energy in the universe. It is a sacred power source that is both integral to the nature of the cosmos as well as inherent in ourselves. Remember that the divine feminine is something that everyone, regardless of gender identity, can connect to. And since we know a lot of this already, because we already did it, the divine feminine is connected to, but we will get to the part where I think it's important for us today in a second. So the divine feminine is connected to fertility, birth, and the cyclical nature of life. It is present in the changing seasons of nature and the cycles of the moon. This creative energy is not just about biological creation, but how we transform ourselves, our families, and our communities. It is the ability to appreciate the beauty of the universe and the strength to weather its changes. Concepts of the divine feminine have been around since antiquity and appear in religions and spiritual practices across the globe. You may be familiar with some of these ideas, the divine mother or the lover, for example, but there are many ways, both subtle and precise, to work with this energy. The divine feminine allows and reminds us to look within and listen to our bodies, encouraging thought, reflection, and emotional presence. There is no one single way to experience it. Complex and evolving, it contains multitudes. In fact, you may feel different facets of it throughout your lifetime as you navigate experiences of family, partnership, or your own spiritual and creative journey. The divine feminine is a symbol of many attributes, including creativity, intuition, nurturing, healing, and compassion. These values are available to all and are desperately needed in our world today. Looking at this year, 2023, the importance of the divine feminine will only continue to grow as we navigate through a time of global turmoil and transition. The divine feminine can provide the necessary balance and harmony to restore order. Women and people who are embracing these values are taking on more leadership roles, and their voices are being amplified on a global scale. This is an important step towards achieving equality, but it also represents recognition of the inherent power of divine femininity. As more people awaken to the importance of the divine feminine, we will see a greater emphasis on the integration of these qualities in all aspects of society. This means a shift towards more collaborative and nurturing leadership, a greater focus on holistic healing and wellness, and a more compassionate and empathic approach to problem solving. Ultimately, the importance of the divine feminine in 2023 and beyond is about recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings and the need for a more balanced and harmonious world. By embracing these qualities, we can create a more peaceful and equitable society for all. So that's where we're going towards. So,
Great. Beautiful.
so a little different, I think, right? All right.
Yeah.
And good, we have some questions coming in.
Tony's got a great question. Yeah.
So in that, kind of more of the focus on how to utilize it ourselves and what it means for us today as we tap into that energy.
It's a resurgence of that power. I think it's been dormant or suppressed or contained,
repressed or
repressed. Yes. And, you can feel it. You can feel it coming forward like a tidal wave, right? We've got to balance out that energy that's going on in the world. And this feels like a big pivotal year, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. And I think that's why when I was tapped on the shoulder, the focus was 2023.
Yeah.
And kind of from there, I feel like this year we are collectively pushing through some sort of, and I know this sounds weird, but like we're pushing through like a membrane, or we're pushing through something together collectively, to kind of step into this energy stronger together. Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm getting it's really interesting because I'm getting these feelings of like the birthing process, what you were saying, that pushing through, but also how we talked about doulas and we talked about us being doulas for the earth. It's also us being doulas for the divine feminine because it's coming, right? It is like a birth because it's coming. It's not like it's something we need to do and we need to do for it to happen. It's happening.
It's happening.
So either you're going to be with it and helping to usher it in, or you're going to be against it. And if you're in that this pushback that we're seeing with that kind of that old misogyny, that old chauvinism, those old energies that are kind of coming back through into the lexicon, because it's like it is kind of a reactive thing against the divine feminine that they can feel coming. And what it means is that the more they resist it, the more of a bonk on the head they're going to get, Tucker Carlson. The more of a bonk and a wonk on the head they're going to get,
right.
Because it's coming. It's not a choice. It's coming. So either you're going to resist it and get a bonk on the head, or you're going to kind of be on the side of ushering it in. And if you're in flow with anything like this, when you're in flow with it, it works with you. It works for you. It's not a threat. It's a something we need to rejoice and welcome, and if you're in resistance to it, it's not gonna go well because you're not in flow with just what's happening just in general.
And we'll start to see really, I mean, we do see a lot of these people who are highlighted who are against it. 45, Tucker, whoever, we're going to see them really get that friction and that bump back to this. And it will become apparent where everyone's energy lies.
Right.
With us, this kind of group here, we'll be flowing in it. We'll be successful. We'll be happy. We'll be vibing it. And that's where you want to be, because it's
right. And it works for everybody. It works for everybody. It's not just women that it's going to be working. It works for everyone. And when you're in that flow of assisting that doula, assisting it, you're really in flow. You're really you're in it. And you're, like you said, you'll just be moving right along. And you're the things that happen in your life and the things that come into your life are going to be wonderful, are going to be amazing. And if you're in that crowd that's pushing against it in some mean, cruel way, you'll get bonk on the head. That'll be what you get.
And
reminder.
A little reminder to get back. So I do feel too that we have chosen to be here at this. We're going to be remembered. This generation, that we are going to be remembered for those who ushered in this energy, and so let's do well. let's be on the right side of this, right, and do well, because we will be remembered as that generation that kind of brought that in. You can look back over time and see how little shifts happened. Well, we're the one pressing through this membrane birthing this, and we'll be remembered for that.
Got 2 cards, the Thinking Woman and Victory.
Ooh.
So this is what's happening. It's not just a vibration, it's thoughts. It's how you think about things when you're in the feminine divine, right? It's about nurturing, caring. It's everyone thinking like that divine spirit. And then you help your neighbor, you help other countries. You know what I mean? You're in that loving, nurturing way. And this clearly leads to victory for all of us when that happens, because it's been the other way for too long. And we all have both sides inside of us, right? And it's the balance. Like, where do you sit? Are you too aggressive, or are you, more on the gentler side? And it's balancing yourself out. And then that goes externally into the community, in the vibration we send out. And, you can see, we know people in the public eye that resonate on that aggressive, it's all mine, I will destroy, vibration. That doesn't feel good. But the divine feminine energy feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we have a question coming in here too. Tony, hi Tony. How does the divine feminine see women supporting women in the U.S. since Roe versus Wade overturned? Women oppressed in Iran, Afghanistan, poor and ill women, women in war zones, etc. How does the divine feminine... Okay, so the question is, I guess, kind of like, how are we being encouraged to support women when there's oppression happening all over the globe towards women? What would the divine feminine energy say or bring to guide us?
I think the fact we are such a global community at this point, we are finding out about this stuff that we didn't know, or certainly didn't know about on a daily basis in other countries. And that connection to each other, that feminine divine connection to each other, is so much stronger now, because we are one community, and we can find out about this stuff, and then we can send out our energy, right? You see women protesting all over the world against the suppression of women in other countries. So I feel the divine feminine feels like the information, once it all gets up and exposed, like it is now, where we know about all of this stuff, that's when the big change is coming, because it's going to be such an outcry and reaction to find all this stuff out. That helps galvanize the movement, right? Like, it's not just local anymore. We're finding out all these horrible stories everywhere.
Right.
In modern day, never mind that's not in the past.
Right.
And I'm getting to that in all of these situations. So take, for example, with the war and things like that there is this very aggressive masculine, this power trying to take over that energy. With anytime there's that, there's also these divine feminine reactions, which are the people on the borders taking in the refugees, feeding them, clothing them, making sure they have a safe, secure place. Those are all the divine, things of the divine feminine. And so I feel like there's that I'm getting messages about supporting those things. And not only that, but recognizing them, sending them love and light through prayer and encouragement through your words. And also, if you have money to give, or you have that, putting giving those things a lift, because that's the divine feminine in those situations, is the part, that's the organizations. And even though there are men in them and men running them, and so those are divine feminine actions, giving that nurturing and calm and care to people in those kinds of situations. So just supporting those things, that is lifting up the divine feminine, and finding ways to contribute, to those things yourself, through, spiritual ways, or through monetary ways, or through giving your time. Yeah.
And you'll, this is not just subject to women doing this. This is men with this divine energy within themselves. So when you see them reacting, opening their, doing these, this energetic work, it also is part of the divine feminine, is what I want to say. And doing little things, even within if you're not taking action out here, take action within. What are some of the things that you are constantly in battle with, narratives within yourself and what you believe about yourself? And so be your own healer in that. Step into your divine femininity, feminine energy, in regards to loving yourself. And in doing that, that spreads as well to others. Okay.
And educating people on what does the divine feminine mean. Like, we're learning here together what it actually means, and then sharing that with your children, your spouse, your friends at work, and just talk. I mean, however you feel comfortable about it, but talking about that positive, nurturing, caring energy, and how you can bring it into situations. And like Debbie said, like watching yourself, like where does it fit within you? Is it something you need to add more to your life?
And it starts here, you guys. It starts here. And remember, we're all connected. So if we can do that for ourselves, it is creating a positive effect on the women in Iran, Afghanistan, and the poor, and the women in war zones, and that. But it starts here. So we make the change here. It affects, because we are all connected. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Pomona says, I'm making goddess brooches right now.
Yay!
Yay.
I love a brooch. I love a nice brooch.
Wonderful.
Okay. Carol's asking, how do we invoke the divine feminine? Just by our thoughts, emotions, or actions?
Certainly through those ways. Yeah.
Well, I mean, anything that encourages, empathy, compassion, nurturing. Those are, and we're not talking about men and women, right? We're talking about these types of, because there are plenty of masculine qualities that are very, or divine masculine, that are very wonderful qualities, those kind of determination, and all those kinds of things that you have that where you can push through situations. But the divine feminine, it has to do with those qualities that are more about the gentler parts of our world, that are, we have to have them. We have to like you said, for balance, it has to be there, that gentle, not just the strong, powerful, pushing through, that kind of, you cannot do that.
Then it's all domination, which is what we see certain people trying to dominate the world, or a way of thinking. can have that. We have to have
Balance, yeah.
empathetic ways of thinking and thinking about the community as a whole and the earth as a whole, right?
Mhm.
It's how you talk, it's how you think, it's how you react to situations. If something happens, do you get angry at the person, or do you have compassion and say, why did that person upset me? Is it something going on in their life? Was it even about me? Like, there's different ways to respond to something, not domination.
Yes. And Mark Atha says a divine feminine can be channel and expressed through a male body as well. Yes, I want to make that clear that we all have both. It's not male or female. It's just a masculine or feminine, right? So it's not a gender.
It's an energy.
Energy. So let's make that clear. And it's an energy that we both have of both, and it's the imbalance that we are experiencing right now, and we now are pushing through to bring that balance in back. And again, the message I received earlier when I was creating this was that this generation, we chose to be here to push through that membrane, birth this, to bring in that balance.
And it's about education too, because there's lots of guys who are not taught about having a divine feminine energy, that they should only have the masculine dominant one, right? So it's and vice versa. Maybe some females are not taught that they can have a more masculine side energy, right? So again, it's education, it's that dialogue. We're two things, right? We're two things, and we need to balance it within ourselves
Yes.
and each other. So there's maybe this year, I just got goosebumps. Maybe this year is a start of a dialogue for children to understand, or adults to understand, this duality that we both have, and not to swing too far to one of them, right?
Right.
Balance ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, I think it is being pushed to the forefront, and it's super important to remember that those energies are not genders. They are energies that we both, yeah. And I think that conversation is being pushed to the forefront. And you know, what came through at the end of what I wrote, ultimately the importance of the divine feminine in 2023 now. And they were bringing in the importance of this year, how important this is, something about the emergence of this energy and beyond is recognizing the interconnectedness of beings, are that we're all connected. And so again, going back to all the issues, the imbalance of this energy on the globe, as we connect in, it will make a difference around the globe. And so, of all beings, and the need for more balance and harmony in the world. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's the harmony.
harmony.
It will help. I mean, it's all of it, but we are desperate for harmony on our planet. We know this. Harmony amongst the humans, harmony with us and nature, right? We desperately need that harmony. So this feels like, you're right, it's a pivotal year for us to understand this, to get it right in ourselves, and then get it right on the globe.
Right.
I am about this.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Melissa says, last night when I was meditating on the family, the group that I was present, I was seeing us as an aspen grove, separate on the surface, but the root, the divine feminine masculine, is inseparable. Ooh, yes, we need to learn from our trees, don't we? Look beautiful.
Well, that's it, right? They each work best when you have that balance. They each prop up the other, so when it works, when it's in it, when it's healthy and when it's working. But when you do have these kind of more toxic masculine things happening, and well, we see what happens. There's war, a war breaks out, or you have these lawsuits come up for men that are not treating women appropriately and things like that. So
right. And Holly says we are at a boiling point. Be strong. Yeah, I think we are. We're at this year is important. This year is very important for this energy. And a question that came in, and do we need to elevate the feminine in order to change the planet, even when we know that the idea of feminine is constructed and varies around the world? So, so we narrowed down some of what is meant by that feminine energy, and but I feel like in order to push through this membrane, it may need to be where we are pushing that narrative a little bit, to just push through and then balance out. It might be, we might need to go over here to come back.
Yeah.
Here, right?
Yeah.
So
that is sometimes what happens. And it's all about being, because you have to learn, right, to be able to know what balance is. So you see it out of balance, and then you know what balance is. So sometimes that needs to happen.
I think we're seeing the imbalance literally play out in the real world, in the sense of women being suppressed. So women, not that only women have the feminine divine in them, but we are literally seeing it play out in the fact that women suppressed, held down, thought of as less, to show us an example of how it's off balance, right?
yes, we're being,
we're shown. I can't, there's a word I'm trying to find, but I can't find it, but
yeah, it's in our face, but yeah,
it's in our face. And so that's how we're going to approach it first, right? Fighting these injustices and equalizing the man and the woman on the planet, then equalizing the energy, right? The masculine and feminine energy. But it's in both or in all of us. But we're seeing it play out in such an obvious, in our face way that it needs to be rectified. I think that's goosebumps on that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And I can't ignore it. It's so obvious.
And it's interesting, Andrea, because my guides keep bringing up the tussle over abortion right now, and I think that's why, is because they're talking about that as being one of the ways there's a reckoning coming of some kind. There's something happening here, and maybe that also is why 2023 is going to be, or the beginning this year is why it's going to be so important that we organize and push back in a way that, because men that have no chance of getting pregnant and have no need for, they don't know anything about, being a woman and what women's health means in that way, for being personal to them. They can't be making those decisions for women. They just can't. That is not, and that's a good example, I think, of that masculine energy being hoisted in where it doesn't belong there. That is where feminine needs to rise up. Women need to push back and take that as to our territory, the divine feminine territory, right? So yeah, we're gonna be called to to push back. That's what's gonna happen.
The rights of women all over the world, and in some countries, cultures, religions, young girls, like very young, are married off to much older men. I mean, we know that that's not right. it can't be right.
Right.
So these sorts of things, the tidal wave is here. Like it's upon the shore, and things are going to change because it just feels so wrong to have all these imbalances. And so many of us are in tune, right? Very spiritual group of people on the earth right now.
And that alone is bringing us more, that intuition, that spiritual piece, that is definitely part of the feminine energy of the divine. Here's another question that came in. How is the movement towards non-binary related to the divine feminine? I like this question, in that this is part of the pushback, isn't it? Like an awareness piece, right?
Yeah.
That there, because we've constructed male, female, pink, blue, dresses, pants. We've constructed that. That's a construct that we've created. It wasn't just, we created that construct. And so it needs to be broken down in the physical. So we, mind, body, spirit, it's all connected. So this energy that we maneuver with is being broken down in the physical as well, so it can all come back into balance. So it's kind of like a tower moment in regards to all this, how everything is going to just kind of implode, and then it will come back in balance. And I do feel that that this is part of bringing in a recognition and breaking the constructs in the physical for everyone, so this balance can be ushered in. And again, we've chosen to be here to help usher it in.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Debbie. Yeah.
It's almost it's a dual binary versus non-binary. I know that's what it's called now, but we're both. So you can't, don't define me as one,
Yeah.
And that non-binary movement is part of it. They're really saying, don't put me into one.
Don't put me into one.
Right.
Exactly. They're breaking the construct for us. So then so it happens, it's just kind of like, when you do something in the physical, it's also doing in your emotional body and your spiritual body. You clean out your closet physically, you're literally doing that in your emotional body and your spiritual body as well. So this is on a larger scale, this would be something like that.
And wardrobe and divine energy are two different things, right? Like it's a big difference. Like you can be totally vibing in the feminine divine, but want to wear a suit every day. Like it's
right. That's just cloth.
The feminine and masculine energy is how you think and react to things. It's not necessarily what you look like on the outside. So I would say Marjorie Taylor Greene is a perfect example of a female who's resonating in the masculine energy far more than her feminine energy. She still looks like a woman on the outside. So again, it's not about appearance. It's how she deals with things. It's how she talks. It's her energy. She is take, destroy, 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 right? Yeah. That is the bad end of the masculine energy that she's vibing in.
Look how beautiful it would be if she was balanced.
Right.
If she could balance that.
If she,
that strength and that power is beautiful if it's balanced.
Yes.
Right.
Compassion and caring and nurturing. Mm-hmm. I don't think we see that with her as an example.
Right. Right.
God and Goddess are reflections of the same energy.
Same energy. Yeah. It's just, I like it.
So yeah, again, like check yourself out. Like, do you deal with everything too emotionally and too sensory, or like Marjorie Taylor Greene, destroy, conquer, take it all? Where are you on that scale? And are you closer to one side, or are you more in the middle? Like, it's something we all should be thinking about, and how we address and look at things and feel about things and act. A measured approach would be best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing here as I sit in this divine energy, is we're being asked to see where we have been wounded, and in our divine feminine piece, where have we been wounded ourselves, and dive in deep there, because it throws up walls, and these narratives that we believe, or that have been told, or that we've been put on the wrong path in regards to what it really means, or how to live out in balance with that divine feminine piece to us. It has been stolen from us. And so we need to find in our own selves where that wounding is, and bring light, love, and healing to those spaces. And I am kind of sitting in that right now, and I'm taking inventory myself. Because, for me, it was never okay to be. There's always something there that kind of always blocked that you were less than. There was an air to that. I don't know if it's just society, but that's kind of, as I was sitting in the energy here, that's kind of where they took me. I'm wondering if others feel this as well. And even the men here, where it wasn't okay, you were less than if you ever were even looked like a female, or felt like one, or moved in that energy. You were weaker or less than. I think that that's something that the divine feminine wants us to all look at collectively. That might be a good start. What do you guys feel?
Wow.
Yeah, well, I think even growing up in the 70s and 80s, where you had people say gay as though that were an insult. You're
Right.
being gay. It would be an insult. And what they meant by that was you're being feminine. You're being
sensitive, kind.
Yes, you're being
caring.
sensitive, or you're being, yes, exactly, as though that's a bad thing. So I think you're right, Debbie. What you're bringing up is that idea that those things there's a negative connotation to that, and that is just, it is absolutely not true. But it's what's added to and helps build what we have now, which is this over masculine, over whatever, I don't know what you call it, masculinized energies that are still so pervasive and out of control.
Yeah, the talk.
Now we're having this big wave pushback of the divine feminine, because it needs to happen. It's too much. It's too much.
And I'm sure we all know someone, a man in our lives, whether it's a father, brother, uncle, or someone who lives next door, who thinks that acting with any kind of compassion and emotion is acting like a girl, and is completely unacceptable. When that is the most opposite of cases.
Right.
You should be able to react to things in a sensitive way. Isn't that funny how the controllers or whoever's doing the narrative in the last several decades have decided that these things were not okay.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
But how wonderful it is that we're the ones here to change that. We're the ones to bring it to light. We're the ones to
witness
and bring healing. And
we see it with the younger generations. And
Mhm.
I feel with a lot of them, they're coming in as star seeds or older souls. They're coming in with a purpose. And I feel like a lot of them remember their past lives, whether they do consciously or not, and know that they have been both man and woman and understand the different energies. I feel like they come in knowing this. And that's why we see a lot more people transitioning. This is what I have thought that I have, like, because they're just so more in tune with their soul and what they've been before.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That it's not a big deal to them.
Right. Yes. I think, yes.
To say it and to feel it and to change it to whatever they feel comfortable with. Oh, Mark.
But I like this. I think Mark's onto something here.
Yes.
That we're all born source, right? We come in, we're connected into, we are just energy, right? We're this spirit energy that comes in, and the rest is just dress up. Like, how are we going to dress up this time around? And but since we came in and we're under these constructs, and everybody around us tells us, well, you know, as you're a baby and growing up, oh, you are a girl. You know what I mean? So this is your path. You know, what if we didn't have those constructs to begin with? How beautiful would that be?
Yeah.
And then that's freedom of expression. You would be able to dress however you wanted.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, we have this beautiful baby. And yeah.
Well, it's and Mark's right, because it's insidious, right? Because it's little things as you grow up. That's not ladylike. Don't sit like that, because it's not ladylike. I mean, if you grew up and, you know, or, you know, yeah, you know, girls don't do that, you know, and boys, I'm sure, heard the same kind of things. Don't do that. You're throwing like a girl, or only girls do that, or whatever. And
don't cry.
And it's insidious. It's a little, yeah. Yes. Don't cry.
Don't cry. Exactly. Like, what a way to suppress and cause drama in a young man, telling him not to cry.
Yes.
And also just messing up, not understanding their own emotions, so that the only emotion that's acceptable is anger. So everything comes out as anger, whether they're sad or hurt or depressed, it all comes out as anger, because that's the only expression that is okay for men. So it's insidious. It's little thing over little thing, and it builds and builds and builds this, like you said, Debbie, a construct.
Yeah. And that using female as an insult is constant. It's been an insult to be a feminine or female, or used improperly. And so that's what needs to change.
Yes.
Yes. And I like what Tony's saying here too. We're here to reclaim the divine feminine and leave a legacy for the millennials and the Jennies to carry on. Yes. Nice. So they're already a lot more there than we are, but we're the ones that are pushing through. I'm telling you, the message was so strong.
I mean, think how cathartic it is to cry, right? And release the emotion and deal with something, you know, and you tell a child for the rest of their life, this young boy, that you're not supposed to cry. No wonder we see what we see, right? Because, like you said, it turns into rage, because they're not allowed to cry. So I'm going to go beat up somebody or shoot something up, right? Yeah. Like, again, it's that discussion we were talking about earlier, the education that we're both things, and it's okay to have the sensitivity side and the more, what's the right word to use for masculine energy? I don't even know the right word. But the balance, just it's balance. Okay. Yeah.
Like masculine and feminine, and not the toxic part, right?
No, there's the extremes of both, right?
Right. The extremes of both can be toxic.
So 100%. You want to be, you know, you don't want to lean too much to one side. You want to be as close to the middle as you can.
So
What a thing. Can you imagine everyone just born and allowed to be what
it's like,
What a concept. Yeah.
personal freedom, and not judged? Because that's the other thing. You feel like you're going to be judged if you
right.
express yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a new human. Oh, how cute is that? So let's see how are they gonna choose?
Wow.
But yeah, if we stop putting constructs on them, first thing, allow them their path a little bit here.
Exactly.
Which is a divine feminine way of thinking. Right there, what we're talking about, like letting people express themselves, is a nurturing, caring, and letting just people be as they are. But that's been suppressed. That's been stopped.
Right. Right.
So we're pushing through that. We're birthing in a new.
We are birthing it in, you guys. And
just support of what is, rather than that control over what we want it to be. Just letting it be that, just that support and love and nurture and just allowing. Right.
And so I'd like to kind of at the end here, I feel like, this is what I'm getting from this energy, is to kind of, if we can all just kind of come in together and sit for a moment, enveloped in, and I want to say her energy, and allow any type of healing to come forward, or just recognizing this beautiful energy within you, and ask for that balance. Ask for it to shine. As we step in and we're connected, and we are part of this, bringing in this balance, releasing the constructs and the narratives that no longer fit. I really sense here that she's really coming in for a lot of us here, and handing you back your power.
That's what it feels like. It's very empowering, and it's a whole other kind of strength. It's not demure and delicate. It's a power of its own.
It's an empowering.
Yeah. Strength and compassion. Yeah.
Take back the power of you, the beautiful, unique you. You're extraordinary, powerful. I can see she's like handing out like these, symbolically, she's handing over these long swords to everyone. Stand in your power. Stand in your power. I love it. Beautiful.
Well, I'm feeling empowered. Yeah, it's a badge of honor to be acknowledged your divine feminine. It's not soft or frail. It's very strong. It's equally as strong as the male. It's just different. It's just in a different approach of how to do things.
And it's going back to that authenticity of who you really are. Go back and figure that out. Who are you? Who are you really?
Who are you? Yes.
Before you got all these ideas about, male and feminine and whatever. And who are you? Find that authentic you. That's probably very much both of these things in a lot of different ways, not just one.
And embrace both. It's like, be excited that you're these two things.
Right.
And then balance them.
Yeah.
And express them. Yeah.
Express them.
Fine. Yeah, absolutely.
And Teresa says being soft is fine too. 100%. She's handing you that power to be soft.
Yeah.
Be who you are. You are meant to be in the room. Don't allow anybody to make you feel
You
like
can
you're
be
not
strong
in the
and
room.
soft at the same time. You can be that power and soft. It's just a different way of doing it than we see on the other side of the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, woo,
Great.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you did that again, Debbie. I think that it was necessary. I think it's a whole other side of this we needed to talk about. And like you said, Andrea, how can you do it in just 1 hour? You really can't
Do it every week. It's
well, and there was some more that she wanted to do. She wanted to bring to us. So thank you for your understanding, you guys. I literally looked because I'm like, I feel like but I was not supposed to find it. I looked at a lot of them and we were supposed to. So I appreciate your understanding on that.
Glad you did that.
But blessings, everyone. Thank you for hanging out tonight. So it's going to be a little wonky going through the summer. So, but we will keep you posted on when we will be back on. Bringing in more powerful growth.
We're gonna skip a week next week, and then I think we'll be back on my channel.
Okay.
The following week, but
okay. So in 2 weeks, guys.
But just so you know,
we'll let you guys know for sure.
We believe that's how it's going, but we'll keep you posted, and spend some time with this. She's saying spend time with her. So spend time in this energy, understanding, healing. She wants to bring healing to us all. So continue that energy movement within you guys and doing that work, because we have important work coming in, and that was made clear. So blessings to you all, and we'll see you in a couple weeks on Kim's channel. So
thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.